Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Allotment Days, and it's a bitterly cold day today up in West Yorkshire near Pontefract. Rain and sleet, and I'm heading for that middle greenhouse and I'm going to have a cup of tea and then I'm going to do a little bit of sowing. Catch you in a minute. Hi everybody, welcome back. Well, the weather just beggars belief. I can feel the heat on my face now through the glass. The sun's out, it's really bright. It's nice and blue, and the windows are steaming up. But if you look at the windows, you can see there's sleet caught in the overlap of the panes of glass. Because about 2 or 3 minutes ago, before the sun came out, it just really came down really heavy. It's about 1 degree and bitterly cold outside. Really saturated the ground, so there's not really a great deal I can do. So today I'm going to chance my arm and do a little bit of sowing. I've just swept this middle greenhouse out, washed a few watering trays out, and I think we might do a little bit of lettuce, some spring onions, some beetroot, but possibly just for the leaf. If the weather is sort of middling to fair, it should all germinate, albeit slowly, and it'll probably still be too cold to pop it outside, so we'll just use it as salad, the beetroot. I might do some radish as well. So I'm going to finish my cup of tea and then I'm going to get started. And this, incidentally, is the 50th update, and it's the start of my 5th season down here on the plot. And as you've seen in recent episodes, the plot's grown over that 4 years. But it's the start of the 5th season, and it's 2 years since I did the first update on YouTube of Allotment Days. That's 2 years ago now, and I never thought 2 years ago that I'd still be here doing it. We've not been very active this last couple of months, but we've got lots to do this year. There's still quite a bit to do to prepare the plot, but I've got a new plot as well, and I need to design that, think that through. It's going to be another no-dig plot, and yeah, so it promises to be a great year. So I'll finish my tea, stop talking, and then we'll do a little bit of sowing. Catch you later. Hi, well, it's the 31st of January today, and my instincts tell me that it's far too early really to be sowing very much, but I still think there are some things we can sow. Onions, they're not a problem, and in the greenhouse, lettuce leaf, that's not a problem either. I'll have some bubble wrap ready in case we get some cold nights to cover them up, and I might cover them up even during the day for the first week or two, just to aid germination. I'll show you briefly what I'm going to sow, and I've not spent a great deal on the seed or anything. Some of it's the cheapest seed you can buy, country value. That's just a little bit of Bolter Hardy beetroot. This is a free seed packet from Kitchen Garden magazine, and there's just enough to do a couple of modules in there, so that's free. And then we've got a couple of packets of mole seeds, and I've mentioned these before. This is an online outfit that sell seed in bulk, mainly to commercial growers, but it works out really, really cheap. This is radish cherry bell, and I bought this last year, and I think it cost about £3.70 or something like that. I used it all of last year, and you can still see how much seed's in there. There's enough for this season and possibly next season as well. Probably about 15-20 times as much as you'd get in a standard packet of seed, and even the cheapest seed costs 99p or thereabouts, so it's well worth it. And I've got some mixed lettuce seed as well, and that's what you can probably just see in the corner of the shot here. I sowed this in mid-November, and it looks like it's starting to grow again. It stopped for a while, but I've got some more of that. Again, that's the same packet of seed. It's only a 5 gram packet, but there's enough to start us off. early in the season. So that's what I'm going to do now. I've already put some spring onions into these 2 modules, and I've just got a couple left to do. And basically it's the method that lots of people use, and particularly Charles Dowding. And basically a pinch of seed, probably 8 or 9 seeds, and just dropped in. I'll put a finger holes in, and that's it. That's the spring onion. I'll cover it with some sieved compost, and then I'll water it. Now the lettuce, it's a mixed green and red lettuce seed. Seed's very, very fine, you can see that. And all I'm going to do on this middle watering tray, which is probably only about 2.5 inch deep in compost, is just sprinkle it over liberally. And you're not going to allow it to get really, really big. So although, you know, each seed would produce a full plant, that's not what we're growing it for. We're growing it just so that we can cut and come again. And that watering tray has been well and truly carpet bombed with seed, and there's still half of my palm full of seed. So I reckon there's easily enough for another 2 watering trays in that packet. And again, only cost about £2 or £3 for the seed. That's moral seed. So we'll just pop that back. It's the same idea with the radish. And if I show you again here how many seed there are in there are thousands and thousands. And I'm just going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to broadcast over a small seed tray. The seed trays are in a watering tray, so it's not going to drip everywhere. And again, not too thickly this time, because if you do it too thickly, in my experience, you get lots of leaf and very little in the way of radishes or the gutter seed. So you don't want too much competition. That's probably enough. There might be maybe 100 or something like that there. Then the packet's still nearly full. There's easily enough to do, I don't know, maybe 10 trays in here, and I could broadcast them in the ground outside, and I'd still have some left. There's thousands of things. So that's the radish, cherry bell, and then this is just the remainder of the beetroot from last year. It's still in date for another couple of years on that one, but again, all I'm going to do is broadcast it over this seed tray, and I'm going to put plenty in. In fact, I'm going to use all of them that are left, because I'm doing this for leaf rather than for the beet, for the root part of the plant. And it makes quite a nice leaf actually when it's small. It's a delicate little oval shaped leaf, and that's all of that in. Now I've got some pre-sieved compost, and I'm just going to put a tiny little bit over the spring onions. This is Westland multi-purpose compost. It's the first time I've used it, and to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think I'd recommend it because it's a little bit fibrous in my opinion, which makes it a little bit spongy, and you know, if you tamp it down, it makes it a little bit impenetrable. On the lettuce, very, very thin. I mean, some people don't even bother covering the lettuce seed up. And then the same on the beetroot. And the radish, same again. Again, it doesn't have to be too thick. About 1/4 of an inch really is enough. Just take that in as well. A little bit more on that bit there. And that's it. We're pretty much good to go. Well, at that point the camera stopped filming. It's a new phone that I've got and it only does 10-minute clips because they're high definition 4K clips. But all I've done is I've just watered with a fine rose watering can, give them a good soaking, and they'll not be watered probably for another week, 10 days, unless it just happens to be really sunny and they dry out. And this middle tray of mixed lettuce will end up looking something like this, and I think this has started to grow again now. This was sown, I mentioned it in the last update, sown in the middle of November, pretty much stopped growing during January, but it does look to me as if it's starting to grow, and you can see the side that's been closest to the light has grown a little bit more. And this is one that I did at the start of October, and there's still some edible leaf on that. So that'll get used in sandwiches over the next week or so. And then with a bit of luck, we might be able to start using this. So that means we'll have had lettuce leaf continuously, probably from midsummer. And the plan is to try and have it nearly all year round. So that's the first sowing for 2018. I'm going to take you now into the stable and show you a few things in there. Catch you in a minute. Hi, well I've brought you into the stable just to look at the compost that I've bought for this season, and it just shows you that it really is worth visiting your local garden centres out of season and certainly at the start of the season, because I managed to pick up 1,700 litres of compost for only £70, which I think is pretty good. Most of it is last year's stock, and he was having to clear it out. Some of it's this season's as well, but I'll mix this with soil and some of my own compost and organic fish blood and bone and chicken manure, so it should see us through the season. We're in the right hand side of the stable. I'm going to take you to the other side and show you a few other things that I've managed to pick up. Hiya, we're in the left hand side of the stable now. I'll just show you briefly some of the things that I picked up recently. These are really heavy duty plastic carry cases, and I got them from a local garden centre, and he'd bought some bankrupt stock and managed to pick up these plastic trays with handles, and I thought they'd be ideal for you know, collecting your onions up and your potatoes and allowing them to dry in them. Rather than having them loose like your onions across 2 or 3 trestle tables, they'll be easy to pick up, move around, and also when you're harvesting as well, because we give, like many people, we take veg and fruit for friends and neighbours, and it's a nice, clean, low impact way of transporting your stuff rather than using carrier bags. This is also where I keep all my pots, and all these pots for free as well, and the module trays that normally cost about 10p each, 5p each, something like that. And the same local garden centre, they have like a bay where they put all their old pots. I say old, they've probably been used once, because they buy so many things in bedding plants and what have you, that, you know, they've no use for them, and it costs them money to get rid of them, so it just lets his normal customers take them for free. And the carry cases were free as well. I got 14 of those, so it really does show that it's well worth visiting your local garden centres out of season, or certainly at the start of the season, to, to pick up some bargains. So this year for me it was the carry cases, and just around the corner half price compost. So well worth keeping your eye out. Hi, back in the comfort of the greenhouse again. It's lovely and warm in here, but it's bitterly cold outside and it's still blowing a gale. I'm going to finish off my tea now, and then I'm going to head off home for lunch. But before I do that, I just wanted to do a quick shout out for Steve's Seaside Allotment. I noticed Steve's channel a couple of months ago, but I think he's probably been doing it for the best part of a season now. And he has 3 allotments which he shares with his wife and his daughter, and he's got a really thoughtful approach to how he's developed his plots. He invested quite heavily at the start when he first got the plots, but it's paid dividends because he's got them into shape really quickly, and he's really harvesting loads of stuff off those plots, and he's probably harvesting more in the winter than most other allotment holders are. Lots of winter grown veg, and he grows a lot of things in cold frames as well, which he's built. It's really worth taking a look at his channel. You'll see how he divides his work between the different plots. You'll see something of his philosophy as well, about investing in the plot to get a return from it, because when you start an allotment, you pretty much sense that you've got to do everything on a shoestring, and you feel like you're cheating a little bit if you spend any significant money. But sometimes you really need to do that. I've done it with some of the paths. A lot of my paving I got free, but some of it I bought because I wanted to make a plot accessible, and I've never looked back. So it might have cost me £100 to buy the slabs, but every time I go down that path with a wheelbarrow, it's a joy, any time of year. And Steve's done that with his raised beds that he's built, and he buys in, I think in the latest update he showed how he'd bought in different kinds of compost. But if you look at the yields that Steve's getting, it really is impressive. So if you're wondering, how much to invest in your plot, both in terms of time, how to approach it, how to keep the maintenance down, how to get a good return on your investment, then Steve's site is fantastic for that. So I recommend you check him out. Well, that's it for now, and I hope to catch you again soon. Thank you very much for subscribing, and for viewing the updates and leaving comments. It's always appreciated. Okay, take care. Catch you later.